Distinguished colleagues, my name is Stefan Stefanov and I'm the chairman of Forum Information Technologies and the Future of Economic Science. Today I'll present to you our concept under the title Restoring the Prestige of Engineering Education through a fourth engineering wave in the development of the fundamental scientific knowledge of economy. This concept shows one paradoxical point of view. Restoration of the prestige means that the engineering profession and the engineering education used to be prestigious, but no longer are. Does that even make sense to you? My brother, Dipl Stefanov, and I are the authors of this concept you're about to hear. As first-generation machine engineers, we are well aware of the importance of the industry for machines for the future of our world. Machine engineering and the industry for machines have contributed to the rapid development of human life. It's precisely the industry for machines that grounds the development of all other industries and builds the world we know. But today, the West seems to have forgotten these facts. The industry for machines has decayed and is continuing to decay even further. This is a fact in Bulgaria, as well as in Europe and the USA. Following the policies and the ideology of the knowledge economy, our Western world decided to move the dirty industry for machines away to poorer countries, of course like China, and we voluntarily gave away our most innovative technologies. We proceeded with massive deindustrialization, while at the same time we rapidly developed the service sector. The result is that today, the West is 100% dependent on the Eastern industry for machines. The following graph shows a comparison of bachelor's degree graduates in machine engineering in the US and Europe compared to those in China. You can follow the ratio between the West and China in the year 2000, when it was 6 to 4. Whereas today it is 3 to 7, and the trend is in favor of China. It is no coincidence that the period of decline of the Western industry for machines matches the period of progression of the Eastern one. This distancing from the industry of all industries will bring more and more destructive consequences to our Western society. It is a historically proven fact that the most progressive societies are the innovative ones, the ones that have a strong industry for machines. The Dutch became an empire as a result of their leading shipbuilding. Great Britain became the next world #1 after the invention of the steam engine, only to be succeeded by the United States, which became a global hegemon due to its robust industry for machines and massive armies of machine engineers with which they rebuilt the destroyed world after World War II. At least for us, it is more than obvious that today China is backing on exactly the same moves that once made the US a world leader. It is more than inexplicable to us why the Western world purposely goes against the creed that once made it a world leader. Today, instead of focusing on engineering education, as the education that develops creative human capital, our world has been mass producing a range of social science professionals and above all others, professional economists. In the US and Europe, the ratio of economics to engineering graduates is 2 to 1, as most of the best young minds choose the economics. The question is, what can change this unfavorable trend and restore the prestige of our Western world by respectively restoring the prestige of engineering education? Can we redirect the human capital towards engineering specializations and at the same time provoke the political and business elites to start focusing on the industry for machines once again? The answer is hidden in a few disregarded evident facts. The first fact is that engineering education and economics education have some similarities, both study the so-called model ontologies. Model ontologies are the study of the principal setup and way of functioning of classes of objects. For us, the engineers, these classes of objects are the machines, and for the economists, these classes of objects are the enterprises. The second fact is that while the scientific developments of engineers are extremely thorough and verified in practice, the developments of professional economists are still at the scholastic level. The method of scientific development of professional economists consists in written texts and theories that are accepted as true and valid without any scrutiny, only because of the authority of the economic school from which they originate and not because of their practical relevance. And that's why absolutely none of the economists can actually give a decent explanation of the model ontology of the enterprise for machines. Economic students acquire very little practically applicable knowledge of managing the real industry. And yet, the young people of the West disturbingly continue to choose economics education. Therefore, to inspire the young and motivated to pursue engineering education, the engineering education itself must gain worldwide recognition as the only major that offers practical and useful holistic knowledge for managing the economy of the enterprise for machines. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to present to you the concept of how exactly we, the engineers, could and should fill this deficit of knowledge, and which in turn will significantly enhance the prestige of the engineering profession. You may be asking yourself, why should engineers and not economists solve a problem related to the management of the real industry? Let me remind you of a publication named The Engineer as an Economist, published at the end of the 19th century by the distinguished engineer Henry Town, president of the American Society of Mechanical Engineers. In his publication, he identifies these same problems related to the science for industrial management. He concludes that it is precisely machine engineers, as people who are used to work forward and systematically, that must undertake the development of this science. Town's work marks the beginning of three engineering waves in the development of the fundamental scientific knowledge of economy, or in other words, the development of a holistic business model ontology of the enterprise for machines. These waves are associated with Frederick Taylor, William Deming, Oliver White, and other great engineers. But despite the gradual progress in the development of a holistic business model ontology, the withdrawal of political and financial support for engineering halted the progress of the engineers before the achievement of this cherished goal. So, the answer key is hidden in completing the work of those great men through a fourth engineering wave in the development of the fundamental scientific knowledge of economy as the only one solution that will reverse this unfavorable trend in our Western world. But what is this wave about? It refers to the process of creating, developing, and mass disseminating a holistic business model ontology that is based on the enterprise for machines. This knowledge must contain a unified theory and terminology that provides a schematic and formulated description of the principal setup and way of functioning of the economy of the enterprise for machines. And that's the very reason we are here today, to announce that the first half of the equation has already been solved. After more than 20 years of efforts by a team of Bulgarian engineers at the Institute for Systemic Economic Engineering, our Western world already has such revolutionary knowledge. A holistic business model ontology based on the enterprise for machines. And I emphasize that this Bulgarian engineering development is not just a concept, but has already been successfully tested in practice in several enterprises for machines in the form of a new type of a holistic ERP software. You can analyze the result and the reports of this knowledge as we have provided it in the material that we will give to you later. We urge you to compare it to the best available comparative data and draw your own conclusions. The second reason we are here today is to articulate the responsibility that each of you has in solving the second half of the equation. This solution involves all of us, the unity of all Western engineers and Western tech engineering organizations, which have to direct the efforts needed to initiate the fourth engineering wave and the mass dissemination of this new engineering knowledge. Thanks to this new knowledge of high quality, the fourth engineering wave will generate a new class of engineers that we call systemic economic engineers. These engineers will be able to achieve practical results that would be difficult to achieve for even the most renowned professional economists. And I speak with such certainty because after analyzing research studies conducted in universities such as Tsinghua, Stanford, NYU, and studies conducted on ERP manufacturers such as SAP and Oracle, and even top management consultants such as KPMG and PwC, I have been repeatedly convinced that an analog of this holistic model and the digital technology which is based on it does not exist anywhere in the world but here. Furthermore, my conviction is also supported by my brother's master's thesis. One more minute, please. Which he successfully defended earlier this year at Tsinghua University in China. His master's thesis comprised comparative analysis of the Bulgarian Institute's holistic model and today's most famous business model ontology, Canvas. All the professors agreed that the developed holistic model is superior to any other similar knowledge, and they expressed a great interest in studying and disseminating it. However, in our opinion, this new engineering knowledge should first be disseminated among Western technical universities, as this is a disruptive innovation that we cannot afford to overlook or voluntarily give away. That's why we welcome you to participate in the development of a strategy for disseminating this revolutionary knowledge and join our forum interest. This forum was created based on the suggestion of the President of the Republic of Bulgaria as an organization center for this cause. strategic distribution of this innovative knowledge throughout the technical universities will lead to a redistribution of the global markets of knowledge for industrial management. Markets that strike above 2.5 trillion euros per year and will make our Western technical universities some of the most appealing educational centers in the world. Citing such opportunities will inevitably lead to a return of interest of the political and business elites, which will inevitably lead to the restoration of the prestige of the engineering education. Now, you can clearly see for yourself how the fourth engineering will lead to the restoration of the prestige of the engineering profession and respectively to the restoration of the prestige of the engineering education, and it is all in our hands. We can achieve it only by initiating this process together as engineers, a process that, according to its magnitude of impact, can be considered the new role in the history of the future that we all desire. The time is now, colleagues. Thank you.